feelings and that you're depressed when you're 12. So it was very hard for me to open up about it and uh, to actually get help from it. So I closed all doors, I sat in my room and just waited for it all to be over basically. But then I met Margot, and together with her dogs I have learned a lot of things that helped me get out of there and eventually do things like this and explain um, how I went from this to up here. So, okay, I was really afraid of social contact. So, people, I was so afraid of them. Normal people are normal. People are afraid of sharks or spiders, but I was really afraid of people and what they would think about me, or how they would react to my actions. So it was really rough for me to even see other people. Um, and that's where it was really nice to have a dog as basically your therapist, because they don't really judge humans, not really. Um, and you'll first start bonding with the dog instead of, hey, what are your issues? What can I help you with? And that really helped with knowing my own boundaries and telling them to Margot myself instead of her asking me to tell me how I'm feeling. Because eventually you get out of this comfort zone with the dog, you get outside, you see other people because you're walking a cute dog. Of course, people are going to approach you and ask what type of dog is it, or well, stuff like that. So eventually you get out of your comfort zone and learn how to deal with it basically. And with a dog near you, you always have this safe space. Because right now, if I would get really anxious, there's nothing much I could do right now. But if I would have a dog next to me, I could pet the dog, cuddle with the dog, or just look at the dog, and I would be like, hey, the dog is relaxed, so why am I not relaxed? Why could the dog be relaxed but I'm not? We're in the same situation. So it really helped me with getting a realistic view of what is scary and what's not that scary actually, with use of a dog. Example, I couldn't go to supermarkets. That it was a huge crowded place with lots of people, lots of
Food.
yeah, but that was really scary for me. So when I heard that we were going to the supermarket with a dog, I was like, that sounds super scary. I haven't done that in so long. So how am I going to do this? But we took little steps towards that by beginning to look at the dog and be like, well, he first needs to pee, probably, and he first needs to get his collar on. So when focusing on the dog, you already forget that you're scared about it. And once you're in the supermarket or any other store, and something is scary, then you can just look at the dog again and see what it needs, feed the dog, and then it's all right again. And after that, you're like, that was okay. And eventually that builds up to do more things that you were scared of before. You don't really notice it in the moment, but if you look back, then you can really say, yeah, I've grown so much by using a dog as help, basically.
Yeah, and that is also the small steps. First time is scary, second time it's more normal, and the third time then I know, okay, it's okay. Then we do the next step.
Yeah, and eventually you don't really need
Yeah,
the dog anymore because you have learned how to focus on other things and not your anxiety. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here explaining all this without a dog. So
Yeah,
it
without a
really
dog.
works.
Now most.
I'm just so proud of you. I really am. Like,
And Mos is watching you.
That's the dog. Mos is his name, and I have trained with him to overcome my fears and feel happy again, feel proud of myself. So yeah.
You've come a long way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And why I choose Mos? Want that was your question.
Yeah.
So, yeah. There you are. Mos is a rescue dog from Turkey. Mo, in Dutch, Mos. And when in Turkey you have people who are paid of taking dogs off the street and bring them to the shelter. Maar nou weet ik even niet wat het andere woord voor shelter is. Shelter is asiel. When they took him off the street, he was gegooid in de bus. Dropped in the bus, and he broke his leg. So the shelter said, "Oh, I don't want him." So they dropped him in a, nou ja, dat noem ik dus een shelter, een hele afgelegen plek met niks, met een hek erom.
Like really a big kennel without any.
Yeah, with
care or-
mother and water is
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
And they rescued them because in Turkey there are also a lot of women, most I see on Instagram, who are saving the dogs. And they hebben hem geopereerd daar. And then he came to Holland and then I met him. So he was in Holland when I met him. But he had to trust people again. And I thought, yeah, that's also with Jens. Because the things, de dingen die je hebt meegemaakt, de nare dingen, maken ook, make that the children don't trust about someone can help or someone knows what I mean or understand what I'm saying. So that was the connection between Mos and Jens. And it was match made in heaven.
Yeah, it really worked out. But yeah, it was, Mos didn't trust people because he was thrown into a random van and placed somewhere he didn't know. And I didn't trust people because they were scary for me. And they tried to help me, but they couldn't. They really tried, but it just didn't click. So we both kind of lost hope in getting help. And eventually we both learned how to deal with that. And it's kind of a success story for both of us. So, yeah.
Yeah, really. I'm so proud also.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Does anyone have questions?
Can I ask, because you worked very much with Margot and with Mos,
Yeah.
and I can imagine that having experienced this, you yourself would have to have a dog, but maybe also you miss Mos. Maybe you even miss Margot. I've had therapy for a few years in my life. I still miss my therapist sometimes. And I can imagine that you also, especially because it's such an emotional